Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at my favourite Marvel character of all time, and that is none other than Bucky Barnes, better known as the Winter Soldier. A really cool looking figure. If you've seen some of the other videos on my channel, you know I've reviewed the Disney Store exclusive Winter Soldier, which is the comic themed version of him. Finally, we get a movie version of the Winter Soldier, which I'm really excited about, really keen to get this guy opened up and out of packaging. Love the design of this guy, loved him in the movies, loved not so much the first Captain America movie, but the Winter Soldier and then Civil War were two fantastic movies. Even the comics, this guy is fantastic. The series they did last year, where he's the man on the wall, outstanding. So I'm a big fan of the Winter Soldier. In terms of packaging, he comes in the standard Marvel Select packaging, which is really big, really bulky. To me, it's really unnecessary, but it is what it is. Taking a look, he comes with some great accessories, which I'm quite excited about, and a nice shot there of the Winter Soldier. I thought it was really good how, to me, the Avengers movies are kind of kids-based movies, but with the Captain America ones, they seem to step it up a little bit. You know, you had some pretty brutal moments, like the bit where he, they show him killing Tony Stark's parents and things like that. I think the way they set up the Civil War was actually really good, and that movie I was a big fan of. The figure itself on the picture looks quite nice. Not sure how I feel about the face, but it seems reasonably good. The read-up on the back, you can pause it and have a read for yourself. Just basically a bio of what happened in the movie, as opposed to a specific one on the Winter Soldier, which is a little bit of a shame. I really would have liked a specific read-up on the Winter Soldier, his history, how he was a Soviet assassin. I loved how they did that. I think the Winter Soldier movie really established a good backstory to the character, and then again with the whole mind control thing in Civil War. One thing I didn't like, and there is a comic series, if you're a fan of the comics you will have read, where those old other like knockoff Winter Soldiers that the Soviet Union or Hydra had created, they get reactivated, and then Winter Soldier has to go in and take them down, and that's one of the best comic series of all time for the Winter Soldier. And I thought they were going to do something like that, but then they sort of cheaped out on it and just had them all shot in the head while they were still frozen, and to me that was really disappointing. They could have done something a lot more with that. Anyway, let's get the Winter Soldier opened up and out of packaging. Okay, and here we have the Winter Soldier opened up and out of packaging. One thing I will say with the Marvel Select figures that really, I think, gives them a bit of an edge over some of the DC Direct figures, which are their biggest competition, is these display bases. They look really cool. That is fantastic. Now, obviously, you add them together to build an Avengers wall line thing, but what I really enjoy is that this would not look out of place in like a Soviet testing facility. So you can definitely get some good value out of it, and the display piece, whilst big, is definitely something really cool. In terms of the Winter Soldier figure, he is fantastic. I'll bring it forward so you guys can take a look at the face. I will bring in the comic version of this guy in a little bit so you can see. I think the face is quite accurate. They've done a few things with the articulation on this guy that really makes it an improvement, a substantial improvement, I think, over some of the other Marvel Select figures, and I'll run through that in a little bit. So yeah, the face I think is very accurate. It does look like he did in Civil War. Great detailing on the hair, the colouring on it. It's like a two-tone. You've got the brown mixed in with a bit of black. Comes off really cool. Rate the jacket he's wearing, styling and profiling. And one thing I think is really cool is that they gave us the Soviet star on the Winter Soldier, that iconic bionic arm. As opposed to, I guess, the as opposed to the Disney Store exclusive, which had the Avengers Captain America logo, which I was a little upset about. But anyway, moving through, nice detailing on the jacket, nice detailing on the pants, and then also, hopefully you guys can see, detailing on the boots. Visually, it is a very nice looking figure. In terms of articulation, it is also really excellent. Ball jointed head, ball jointed arms, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists. He's got the ab swivel. He's got, now this is where they copied the DC articulation. He's got the legs that move out and in, forward and back, so a ton of leg movement, so you can set him up really good. Swivel in the upper bit of the thigh, double bend in the knee, and then swivel in the boot, and then ball jointed ankles. So a ton of articulation out of this guy, which is what you want out of your figure. It's, I guess, really good with this guy that he's got great articulation, but it's hidden well, so it doesn't compromise the sculpt or the detail level of the figure, and that's something that I think came off really, really nice. I just want to bring in the gun that he uses, because that is a ridiculously cool looking gun. Looks a bit like a saw or, you know, some LMG weapon, which I forget the name of. But yeah, it looks pretty beast. I love that it's got the side ammo clip. That looks pretty cool. So a very nice accessory as well. I wish there was a little bit more detail. Maybe they could have painted that brown, or just had some shading on it, or, you know, done something just to make it look a little bit better rather than just the plain black plastic. And as promised, just for comparison, I've got Bucky Barnes with Bucky Barnes. So the comic Winter Soldier against the live action Winter Soldier. You can see they have some similarities, but also a lot of differences. In terms of a figure, which is a better figure, I think this one has substantially more detail, mainly because there's more to the figure. He's got the ammo vest. He's got, you know, a mix of black, brown, grey. He just looks like he has more detail to him, as opposed to this one, which, to be fair, does look like he did in the movie, but there's definitely a lot more going, I think, for the Disney Store exclusive. Taking a look at the figures, there you can see the Captain America logo from the back. Again, substantially more detail on the Disney Store exclusive. Keeping in mind that is a lot harder to find this particular figure. This one you can pick up from, I think, your local retailers, whereas this guy obviously is an exclusive. I mean, they're both really solid figures. I'm happy I've got both of them, mainly because I'm a big Winter Soldier fan. He came with a lot more accessories as well, only the one gun as opposed to 3. It would have been cool if they'd given us an alternate head, maybe from the first movie, with that face mask. I think that face mask looks outstanding. But both are really cool looking figures. Overall, if you're a big fan of the Marvel Universe and you're a big Captain America Winter Soldier fan and you've enjoyed the movies, I think it's well worth picking this guy up. He's got great articulation, great detail on him, very accurate to how he was in the movie. I'm a big fan of both these figures. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this review on the Marvel Select from Captain America Civil War, the Winter Soldier.